What is going on, everyone? It's David and Robin with Sin City Crypto, and today we are talking about Sam Bankman-Fried, what he's up to. He's been tweeting. We're going to break it all down. Let's not waste any time and get right into it. So what has Sam Bankman-Fried been up to? Well, apparently he's been trying to raise money to make quote-unquote customers whole, and we'll get into that here in a second. But Bankman-Fried, who is presumed to still be in the Bahamas, reportedly spent the past weekend in talks with investors considering funding the $8 billion that the company owes its traders and institutional clients, but to no avail so far. Their bankruptcy case currently includes more than 100,000 creditors, with the bulk being trading customers whose funds are now stuck in limbo. Now, with being in bankruptcy, you might be wondering, well, why would the judge allow him to raise money? There's something called debtor in possession financing, which allows a company to raise money to keep its day-to-day operations going, like paying employees, like keeping the lights on, paying utility bills. And the problem with this is any money raised after bankruptcy is filed, that money, those creditors are moved to the top of the list. They're moved ahead of secured creditors. They're moved ahead of institutions. Anyone that would have been owed money first, if they raise money after the bankruptcy proceedings, those creditors get paid first. Now, you might be saying, well, who the hell would lend money to Sam Bankman-Fried? His reputation is tarnished. He's not to be trusted. Well, we know there is one person, and it might shock you to believe or to think who this person might be that would give money to Sam Bankman-Fried, and is no other than the self-proclaimed Mr. Wonderful Kevin O'Leary. He was on the Crypto Banter show with Ran Nooner, and this is what he had to say about Sam Bankman-Fried.
If SPF knocked on your door again and said, look, I failed in my last venture. I have a new crypto venture. I need money. Would you back him?
Say no.
That's a great question. No one's asked me yet. I think we can all admit, you can love him or hate him given what's happened, but he was one of the most brilliant traders in the crypto universe. He also built one of the most robust platforms. We used FTX actively. It was a very robust platform that allowed us to get information on a compliant basis. So I really like what he built.
Would you back him?
Say no.
The answer would be yes.
If SPF knocked...
Wow. The answer would be yes. You know what's funny about that video? He said we would get information in a compliant manner.
What information? The information that they wanted to show, because the information that FTX was displaying was completely different than what their books were saying. And so they're leveraging debt on their FTT token that they were printing. They're basically committing fraud, and yet you're excited about the information or the data that you're getting. The data that you're getting is 100% fabricated, right? I mean, I'm shocked by this one, man. And you know what? At the end of the day, money doesn't rule everything. And if you can make $1 because of somebody's business savviness, irregardless of their intentions, their fraud, of how many people they've affected, hurt, or how this entire crypto industry that we love so much has been manipulated and impacted directly from your shady business practices. And so all that goes out the window because, hey, you know what? He's made a cool platform, and hey, he's a good trader. Like, come on, man.
This just goes to show you, don't trust anyone, what they say, what they do at this point. How could anyone come out and say that, yes, I would give my money to him? I don't care if he was a great trader. Guess what he did? He committed fraud. He's going to jail. He committed felony. And so we here at Sin City Crypto, me personally, used to have a great respect for Mr. Kevin O'Leary. That is completely out the window. What do you guys think? Share your thoughts in the comments. Have you lost our respect, or do you think he has a point? All right, so let's talk about SBF, what he's been up to. He's been active on Twitter, and all started with this. On November 13th, at 7 p.m., he tweeted what? And then he spelled out happened. And then he continued on to say, not legal advice, not financial advice. This is all as I remember it, but my memory might be faulty in parts. So
he basically says, what happened? well, here's my not financial advice. He's telling a story. Kind of.
But here's the thing. You guys got to remember something, right? Put yourself in his shoes. He knows he's probably going to jail. He knows he's going to be grilled by regulators. And so he is establishing one of two things. He's either establishing that he doesn't remember, or he's establishing that something's wrong.
This is
with
all
him.
legal. He knows that anything he says here can be used against him in the court of law. And so he's saying what happened was, first of all, he likes the attention and the limelight. And if he were to take counsel or lawyer's advice, they would pretty much just tell him, like, hey, don't say anything, just stay quiet. But he's not listening to counsel or legal advice, or at least not anybody competent, because anyone would tell him not to do this. But he's saying, hey, this is what happened, not legal advice, not financial advice, but this is how I remember it. And if I don't exactly remember it 100% of the way, don't hold me accountable. So basically, it's his disclaimer, which I don't think that anybody really cares about his disclaimer anyway. So,
Well, obviously, no one's going to take financial advice from you anymore. So the
one
next
person will.
right, Kevin O'Leary. Which, by the way, Kevin, if you're watching this, shame on you.
Here's the thing. People say dumb things, so I'm not in the camp that, like, I'm not in that cancel culture. You say one sentence and I write you off forever. Extremely disappointed in those words and those thoughts, and I hope he rewinds or rethinks what he said, because maybe he hasn't been brought to the attention of all the shady things that's going on.
Robin, stop.
I'm just saying, man.
Just stop
I just don't believe that
you're out of line.
Kevin O'Leary
You're
really
completely out of line.
believes that. Man.
You're saying
maybe he's not. Maybe he doesn't have all the information. in front
that's
of him.
complete BS. We two regular dudes in Las Vegas who run a cryptocurrency show with 5,700 subscribers. We have the information, but
Is
he
this
doesn't.
the
Come on,
We
man.
Too movement here?
Come on, man.
We Too.
No. I'm not saying
We
cancel.
Too.
I'm not saying
Hashtag We
cancel
Too.
him because of what he said. I'm just saying I'm deeply disappointed, and
I
he's a
am.
man
I am
to
as
not
well.
be trusted.
I'm just saying. I hope he walks it back. That's all I'm saying.
I hope he does too.
And
I
people
doubt
say dumb. We've been on air saying dumb stuff where we had to cut our.
But we've
stream.
never backed criminal. Okay, let's move on. So the next part of his Twitter thread was, I'll get to what happened, but for now, let's talk about where we are today. To the best of my knowledge, as of post November 7th, with the potential for errors. Of course, all these disclaimers with a potential for errors. 1, Alameda had more assets and liabilities marked to market, but not liquid. 2, Alameda had margin position on FTX International. And 3, FTX US had enough to repay all customers. Not everyone necessarily agrees with this. Do you know why we don't agree with this, Sam?
It's fact.
It's because it's BS. If FTX US had enough to repay all customers, why did you declare bankruptcy? They're two separate companies. FTX International is separate from FTX US. Alameda is separate from FTX US. You could have declared bankruptcy for those companies and kept FTX US going. But you didn't. You added into the bankruptcy, which means you did not have customer assets available to repay people. So that is
It's
complete.
common knowledge and fact that FTX shared assets between FTX, the platform, and Alameda. And so that just basically debunks anything he just said there. So
Yes. So, and then he adds another tweet. He adds this: my one goal is to do right by the customers. I'm contributing what I can to doing so. I'm meeting in person with regulators and working with the teams to do what we can for customers. And after that, investors, but first customers.
hold on. What regulators is he meeting up with right now? Dude is in
Gary
hiding.
Gensler?
He's in hiding. He's not meeting. As much conspiracy as I want to throw out there, he's not meeting with Gary Gensler. But, like, who is he meeting up with? He ain't meeting up with nobody. He might have met up with a regulator in the Bahamas if he's still there. Supposedly he's hanging out in the Bahamas. I don't even believe it. They did track his jet. He went to South America. He told reporters that he was not in Argentina or South America, and that he was still in the Bahamas. But whatever, wherever he is, he ain't meeting up with anybody. Not of any of real significance. Put it that way.
Here's the thing, Sam, is when you declared for bankruptcy, you understood, and you can't tell me you don't. I mean, you are very well connected. Your parents are very well connected. This whole scam is a family-run scam. So when you declare bankruptcy, Sam, and if you didn't know, pay attention. Guess who gets paid back first? Secured creditors. Guess who those are? Those are your VC companies, Your institutions. Guess who that's not? Your customers that you say, I'm going to take care of first. That's not how bankruptcy works, my friend. It is now under the control of an arbitrator and the judge. They will make the decisions as far as what happens to your funds that are left, if any, on your platform. And customers who are considered unsecured creditors will get paid last. So that is complete BS. If you're watching me right now, you the viewer, and if you believe anything that comes out of this man's mouth or computer, you need to rethink your strategy. And then finally, his last tweet, which was 20 minutes ago, my goal, clean up and focus on transparency, make customers whole. And, I just saw this, and this is just, kind of funny. Said, who would believe you? And this Twitter tweet said, just in the White House, which this is true, has asked Congress for $37.7 billion in Ukraine aid. And someone retweeted and said, FTX rescue package incoming. So if you're not familiar with why this is why this is funny, is because there's rumors that FTX was used to launder money through Ukraine for the Democratic Party. We're not going to get into that conspiracy here, but yeah. So Rob, what are your thoughts on what he's saying? Is there any merit to it? Should anyone believe what he's saying? What is your words to people who might have money on FTX?
Why didn't you try to remove? I don't know. Here's the thing: you ain't getting it back. I mean, if you do, it'll be years from now, and it'll be pennies on the dollar, and might as well just write those funds off as gone. SPF is, you mentioned Ukraine. He basically was holding a lot of Ukrainian humanitarian funds that were donated in the form of crypto on his exchange. Those are also gone. Dude's a shady piece of crap. That's all I got, man. I don't, no respect, no love for him, man.
At the end of the day, what's happened over the last 6 months in cryptocurrency has nothing to do with the technology, with the coins, with the projects. It all comes back to people, right? And more specifically, one person. That person is Sam Bankman-Fried. He might have set back our industry 1, 2, 3, maybe 5 years. Who knows? But at the end of the day, getting people like this out of our industry will benefit all of us in the long term. You just have to be patient. That'll do it for the video. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.